What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pod Scum. I am, of course, your host, Reckless Rex Ruger. That is the Freddie Mercury puppet. We are back with another incredible episode. It is what we do, kids, and we ain't about to change it now. Before we get to it, as I do every episode, I will address the proverbial elephant in the room. It must be addressed. You're, of course, looking at these smoldering good looks, these luscious blonde locks, and you're only human. How could you not be? Sounds so good. Actually, I think I'm going to take a gander. You are, of course, looking at the one and only love child of one Diamond David Lee Roth. There you have it, folks. I have come clean, and now we can get down to brass tacks, which, as I said, is another amazing episode of Pod Scum. Before my guest gets in here, I will give you my obligatory promotional spiel. And that's basically what it is. It's a spiel. Because as you know, if you have a podcast, first of all, you are among millions, it seems. And if you want to stand out, you have to pimp your podcast. My pimp hand, there it is right there, is feeling very strong. So here we go. Please make sure to tap into Pod Scum on Facebook. Our handle is Off the Couch Boxing and Pod Scum. Two separate shows. I got the little boxing show, Off the Couch Boxing, for you pugilism fans, and for you music, arts, entertainment, rock, and metal fans, we got you covered here on Pod Scum. You can find out the 411 on both of those shows through our Facebook page, again, which is Off the Couch Boxing and Pod Scum. Can also check us out on Instagram. Same handle. Off the Couch Boxing and Pod Scum. I've made it super easy. I've dumbed it down for you guys and myself. Believe me, I'm at the age now where I need things dumbed down for me. And of course, if you're watching us here right now on the channel, you got your peepers locked on me. I got them locked on you. This is where you really need to be. I invite you, please, to like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell. Facebook, Instagram, phenomenal. Definitely want you guys to check us out there. But if you want the meat and potatoes, you want to hear and see the full conversations as they go down, you have to come here. And you have to like, subscribe, and very important step, hit that notification bell. Then you will be privy, in the loop, if you will, when new episodes drop. And as you know, bringing you something new every single week. I like to throw a few curveballs at you. Sometimes it's an episode. Sometimes it might be a couple episodes. Might be a plethora of episodes. Really just depends on how productive our week has been, how many guests we're able to run down, how much content we're sitting on. But as you know, and I've said it before, I always love to run down interviews and get them out to you guys ASAP. So I don't sit on material. My guest is here, so we're going to get down to it and chop it up, man. Here we go with another great episode. Let's do it, folks. Do we got him? Do we got him? Do we got him? Mike, how's it going, man?
What's up, dude? How you doing?
Great to have you on here, man. I appreciate you doing this, man. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah. So, first of all, man, I when I have a guest on here, man, I kind of like to start at the beginning, just because having done so many of these, it seems like musical artists, especially, they seem to have not all, but a very common backstory of growing up in musically abundant households, or having musically proficient parents, records playing in the house all the time. Was this the case for you?
I don't really have too many players in my family, but I do have a very musical family. Yeah. Both my parents love all kinds of music. Like my dad liked, classic, heavy rock, southern rock. And my mom liked a lot of kind of pop and stuff like that, like Duran Duran and Talking Heads and, Genesis, stuff like that. My dad was more like Zeppelin, Carlos Santana, Van Halen.
Yeah. And so how do you get drawn to, had the opportunity on here to talk to a lot of bass players, and many of them have chosen the bass. Oftentimes the bass seems to choose them, though. What was the situation for you? Because obviously the bass, a vital holding down the low end, vital to the band. But a lot of young kids want to be the front man, or they want to be the guy shredding. It's not always the most glamorous of positions in the band. How do you get tied to the bass?
I would say, I guess, that the bass chose me because I was just trying to find myself as a musician. I knew I had an interest in music, and I was trying all kinds of different stuff. Everything from chorus, like singing. And I'm talking about when I was like, 10 years old and stuff.
Yeah.
So I did chorus. I played the violin. I played the saxophone. I played my first guitar was an electric acoustic guitar, and all of those things kind of led to the bass. And eventually, when I got the guitar in my hands, I started playing mostly with my fingers because I couldn't grasp the pick application. And my dad literally was like, well, if you're going to play with your fingers, might as well play the bass because, you love the Chili Peppers. And I was listening to Rage Against the Machine and all this stuff. And he was like, you should try a bass. So we swapped the guitar for a bass. The rest is history.
The rest is history. Yeah. And so when you tap into the bass, you mentioned the Chili Peppers, but are there guys that you're studying? Are there guys that you would say have impacted or informed the way you approach the instrument?
Absolutely. I would say, if I can say, my Mount Rushmore of my favorite bass players.
Yeah, I've got Mount Rushmore all the way down at the bottom of my questions, man. Mount Rushmore bass players, and we're already here. Here we are.
Here we go.
Live.
Straight to the point here.
Straight to the point.
So for me, growing up, I would say my Mount Rushmore was Flea, Cliff Burton, Les Claypool, and Tim Comerford from Rage.
Wow. 4 amazing bass players.
Those were the guys. And then honorable mention, later in my life, I discovered and fell in love with Steve Harris.
Okay. So. Fair enough. Now, now here's the devil's advocate question, though, man. Is there one overriding guy on that Mount Rushmore that really is above everybody else as the guy?
Probably Flea.
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid and I found his music and I didn't understand what I was listening to, and I was like, that's a bass guitar.
Yeah.
And then not only just like the sound of the bass and how he was playing it and his presence musically, but also his presence live and just as a person, he's nuts. And he's everything I ever wanted to be as a live musician. So in that respect, he's probably the one that encapsulates everything that I love about the instrument and the approach.
I mean, how can you not love a guy that can play high level bass and go out on stage with a fucking sock over his schlong? I mean, come on, man. For God's sakes, man. I mean, that's talent.
He's the guy. There's nobody. He's a one of one, and I love when somebody's unique. I love unique players, unique bands. Yeah, and he is the number one for me, biggest influence. So I would say Flea, definitely.
And so is it just Flea's playing, or are you a Chili Peppers fan overall?
Yeah, I love the Chili Pepper stuff. Like Blood Sugar Sex Magic was on constantly in my house when I was a kid. And I guess it was kind of like, when it was the newer album. I was born in 87. So, my parents dug it. My Uncle Steve was a big Chili Peppers fan too. So it was like, no matter where I was, it was always happening. It was on the radio. It's just cool, energetic, like a cool vibe. I remember that was like one of the albums that would be playing on Saturday morning, when everybody's like, doing the chores and making breakfast and mowing the lawn and stuff like that.
Yeah, it'll put some pep in your step. It's not a bad one to do chores to. Yeah,
you can knock out pep in your step.
Yeah, you can knock out some chores on the Chili Peppers. And
I did.
And so fast forward a little bit, you had a nice 10-year, literally a 10-year run, with the Cavalera clan. Why did it feel like now, was it time to break off?
Well, I've been doing it for a while with the Cavalera family, and I had a great time. They gave me a great opportunity, and we had a lot of really incredible times together, played some of the best shows of my life, got to see parts of the world I've never seen before extensively.
Yeah.
And, we did 2 albums together. We did a live EP. We survived COVID together.
Yeah.
And I think it was just kind of, for me personally, I was ready for something new and just something different. 10 years is a long time. And I'm fairly certain I can say with certainty, I think I played bass with Max longer than any other bassist in his career.
Yeah.
And I just wanted something different. I wanted just to spread my wings, I guess. Like my wife and I moved over from Tampa, Florida to here in LA.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just like, so that was a big change. And then, you know, we were like, I kind of wanted to change it up musically as well. So, you know, it was time.
Is there trepidation like when you make a move in today's musical world, man? Because you do have such a stable gig. You know, I mean, Max is always churning out material, always touring. He's very consistent, I think, in the metal world. And he's always kind of stayed true to his roots, man. The Cavaleras are great. I always say they're like the Partridge Family of metal. The, you know, the family travels together, they stay together, they do their thing together. The kids are in the band. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I love that about them. You know, but with so much uncertainty, you know, in the music world nowadays, and all the changes that have happened, you know, is there trepidation when you make a move like that? You know what I mean? You're kind of peeling away from a somewhat stable gig.
Yeah, that's a good question. A great question, actually, because it was a lot of touring. And that was a big part of my decision too. Like a lot of touring and a lot of like kind of like drop everything here. Surprise, we're going on tour in a month for 2 months. Yep. And I've done plenty of that, and I was kind of that was burning me out a bit. There was too much touring, I think, too much touring before COVID, and then right after COVID too. It was just like 7 to 10 months a year was a lot, and we had done it all, and I just feel like I had hit like the peak of what I could achieve there. It was great playing with Max and Zion. You know, I got nothing but love for Z, and yeah, I mean, like I met a ton of people, and I truly just kind of wanted something different, and it, you know, I couldn't have asked for a better change. I've been playing metal my whole career. You know, I started when I was like just barely 20 years old. I'm 38 now, and I've traveled the world the whole time, just headbanging and going nuts. So now, like being in a rock band for the first time in my career, it's pretty cool. It's a big change. Yes, to answer your question, it's a big change, but it was a welcome change, and I'm super happy with how everything has panned out.
So going from metal to rock, man, there'll be less wear and tear on the old neck.
Yeah, it's funny too, because like I thought so, but I love the music so much that I'm still out there, like, and
you're
I'm just
still
like,
into it. Yeah,
you know, I can't help myself. It's just muscle memory when I get up on the stage and we're grooving hard, and Jess is back there slamming the drums, and me and Chad both do like the synchronized like
you can't help it,
bob, because it's just it's great music. So
yeah. And so what is your relationship like with touring? Because you made a great point. It is such a vital part of doing what you do now, especially in today's music world, man. You know, getting out there, grinding, hustling, being out there touring, man. You know, you know, you were doing so much of it. What's your relationship with touring like now, or your approach to it, and how you want to approach your itinerary?
Well, for one thing, I do feel like less is more. You know, there is such a thing as like oversaturating or seeing yourself too thin. So with CKY, we don't really do that. Like the goal for CKY is to do like short but potent tours, you know, and then stay consistently busy. Like, you know, we just did 3 weeks in the UK this last November.
I was just you were getting some crackle on your voice. That's all. Yeah.
I think I accidentally hit my microphone. Let me make sure everything's good. Are we good?
There you go. There you go. Yep. Yeah.
Cool. So, yeah, I think, you know, I don't know where we left off, but I believe that less is more, you know, because we don't want to oversaturate. We don't want to burn ourselves out. The world is a very vast place. And I think that you can tour consistently, but more potently if you just do small little runs, you know. And in CKY, that's the vibe with the whole band. We want to do short, concise, potent runs and targeted markets so that we don't burn ourselves out, and so we don't spread ourselves too thin. And that's exactly what we just did in the UK. We did 3 weeks in, you know, Great Britain, Scotland, and Ireland, and it was incredible. The shows were amazing. The fans were super happy to have us there. There was a ton of new fans there, which is every band's dream, you know. And I, especially a band with the tenure that CKY has, we've been doing this for 25 years now. And to still have like young kids in the fans like freaking out, or it being their first time. I mean, that was me. I was that kid in front row at a CKY concert, like just soaking it all up. So it's really cool, you know, to make sure that your touring schedule is potent, and so that you just don't burn yourself out, dude, because it's not easy to live on the road.
And so this is kind of, you just hinted at like, you were that fan. So this is kind of like a dream gig for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I've been going on record saying it's like a dream come true.
Yeah.
I mean, as a kid, it was my favorite band, and I was fortunate enough to meet the guys when I was really young at a CKY show, and I went to every show. It started off like every show in my area, and then I was so obsessed that I would travel. I mean, I used to drive up to Pennsylvania and go to Philadelphia just to see them. I even flew out here to LA when we were like 16 in high school. My buddy and I skipped school. We bought some plane tickets out here and went to go see CKY at the Roxy on Sunset Strip. I was like 16. We didn't even have $100 between the two of us. And we like scrimped and scrounged and made it happen. And I was just like the biggest fan. So to be a part of that legacy and to be playing with the guys that literally inspired and shaped my whole career it is truly a dream come true. So it's really been fun.
And so what was the impetus for joining the band now, man? So how do you end up in one of, if not your favorite bands? How do you get on their radar, going from fan to now member of the band?
Well, when I was young, and like I used to travel up to Pennsylvania, and I have family up there on my father's side. So it was like a double whammy. I would go up there to see CKY shows, and then I would stay, for like a family vacation. And one year when I did that, I met a really good mutual friend of Chad and I's by the name of Matt Citronbaum, and he used to make all of the jewelry for CKY and the hood ornament, the heartogram hood ornament for BAM that he showed on his MTV Cribs episode. So Matt and I became really close friends, and through Matt, I met Chad, and I'm talking about I was like 14 years old back then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, young.
And these were very formative years. So when I met the guys, and I would go to these concerts, like at Hellview, they used to have a festival they did on Halloween every year called Hellview at the Electric Factory, and I would go to that, and I would help work, and I would just volunteer. I just wanted to do whatever it took to be at all involved with any of it.
Yeah.
And we, that's kind of how I got on their radar. And then Chad and I kind of kept in touch over the years, and then I started playing in bands, and he was just kind of watching me, and every once in a while he'd hit me up on Instagram and be like, yo, dude, I see what you're doing. Great job. Super proud of you. And, years passed. Now in, 2025, I think I met him back in 2003. So all these years passed, and he's just kind of keeping tabs. So when the news broke that I was leaving SOULFLY, he hit me up immediately. The first thing he thought of was like, I guess he was like waiting for me to leave and being available because
it's come full circle. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So like when that time came, he was like, hey man, you want to jam? And I was like, absolutely. I'm so ready now. I would never have been ready. Everything that's happened up until this point was training me for right now. And right now is the best time for me to be a part of this band. I also feel like it's, unbiasedly, I do believe that it's like the healthiest iteration of the band. Because everybody's firing on all cylinders. We're all very excited. There's new music on the horizon. There's a lot of cool tours coming up and shows and events. So I think it's really the greatest time. Very serendipitous.
And now when you end up in a band that means this much to you, and as you say, you start jamming with these guys. Do you put a lot of, because you've been doing this for a while, but it is your favorite band, do you put a lot of pressure on yourself? Is there a lot of jitters involved? Now here I am. Now I'm with these guys. Now I'm in the band. I'm playing alongside these guys.
Truly, no. I don't feel any pressure. I feel like it's like riding a bike. I've been saying it's like I'm the new guy, and I did just get here, but I've also been here like the whole time because I've studied this music and the vibes of the guys. Like I said, everything that I've experienced in my life has been training me for this, and like how to keep my cool around people I consider legends, people that I look up to, and every step of the way has been preparing me for this. So it's like I just see them. It's like being in a band with like my two favorite uncles, Right. I love the guys to death, and we just had such a blast out on the road, and then the chemistry is just like immediate. There's a lot of mutual respect, because I'm not like this just some new person to them. It's they respect my work, and I obviously respect theirs, and I think that goes a long way, and it's a testament to like a healthy relationship in a band, and only good things can come from that. So it's really awesome.
And now that you are in the band and you're talking about, making new music with the guys, what will your role be in the creative process? Being that you are the new guy, do you feel like, you will be very much part of the creative process?
Yeah, yeah, it's in my every intent to do so. Like Chad's got a studio in Nashville, and we've got a couple gigs coming up here after the holidays. We're going to Australia for a weekend, and we're gonna be announcing some touring a little bit later. We have a festival called Sonic Temple that we're doing. So in between all that, yeah, we're going to be writing new music, and I'd like to sit down and, I'll go to Nashville and we'll kind of hash some things out. There's a million ideas already. Chad wrote 400 songs during COVID that are all really fire. So we're going to sift through some of them and see if we can breathe some new life into it. We might just do like kind of some jams and start recording the sessions. Chad is a mastermind when it comes to creating and manipulating music and sound. So he's always been at the helm, and he'll remain at the helm, but yeah, just with a new flavor. I'm the new flavor that we can add into it.
And now you mentioned having done this and played heavy metal, man, for all these years. And when you're out there playing music, as you were with the Cavaleras, you mentioned earlier headbanging, the stuff you put your neck through. You have a bass strapped on you, and you're playing this extreme metal. How is your own personal health held up? Because I've had a lot of guys on here, drummers that have had to change the height of their stool, the layout of their drums. They get little impingements, little aches, little pains. Especially playing such a music that involves such physicality. How has it affected you physically?
It hurts,
Yeah,
it's like it's age, and also it's like, well, I'm not living a normal life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like age will do that to you in general, but like tour years are like dog years. You know what I'm saying? Or like bus years. Bunk years, I could say. So we're putting ourselves through a lot out there. It's a very physically demanding job on and off the stage, because everybody's like, oh, you got a tour bus, how killer is that? It's like, dude, I basically live in a coffin.
You're sleeping in a coffin. Sure.
I've got like 10 square feet to my name for 3 to 8 weeks at a time, and then we're going down a road. Like I've slept going 50 miles an hour plus for thousands of hours of my life. And I attribute a lot of these gray hairs to that.
Sure.
You get woken up by the rumble strips, or you get woken up because somebody farted and it's like a nuclear attack in the bunk area. It's heavy. It's a lot on your psyche. It's a lot on your body. Those bunks in the bus are sometimes pretty thin. My hips are starting to hurt. My knees are starting to hurt. All the rock dances, putting my foot up on the monitor like Steve Harris. I'm feeling it now. I'm about to be 40 years old here in a couple years. So I'm certainly feeling it.
Oftentimes people think it is very glamorous, and while there is a glamorous side to it, though, man, you guys are out there grinding and working.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And so, so now that you're in CKY, do the guys have a definitive opinion one way or another? Because as I mentioned, the musical world has changed so much. LP versus EP. Does a band have a set way that they like to release music? Going forward.
Great question. We've kind of settled on how we want to do the release of new music moving forward. It just started with the single Can't Stop Running that we released a month or so ago, and it's performing really well. It's the first new music in 7 years since a full record, The Phoenix, came out, I believe, in 2017. So it's been a while. I think I can speak on behalf of the rest of the guys. We're all kind of in agreement on this like rollout, but I think just releasing singles like every couple months, like a quarterly single or so with content surrounding it and tours surrounding it to promote it. That's kind of the move. I think that's the move right now. People don't have the attention span for an album anymore. We have no interest in creating like filler material, just to hit. Like some labels have like a curriculum you need to hit of like, oh, we need 45 minutes of music, and it's like, well, I don't know, I don't want to feel like I need to write 2 more songs to hit that threshold.
Right.
I want music to come out that we love, and we will release it. And I think it's a lot more potent that way, because then you can do songs around singles and promote that single and have a new line of merch. And then when you've got 8 or 9 singles out, maybe then you do a collective like release where it's like, here's what we've been up to the last 2 years. Because a lot of people take time off. It's such a weird process, and I think it's super outdated.
Yeah.
You take a year or two to make an album. You're not touring. You're not doing anything. Attention goes like this, and then it's all, oh, here we go. It's time to ramp up, big release, tour to back. It's like this crazy wave.
Yep.
I don't think that's the way to do it moving forward. The human attention span needs to be fed constantly.
Yeah.
So it's like you releasing music constantly, single. Cool. Now we've got it under our belt. We released the whole thing as like not like a compilation, but just like this is what we've been up to, and the cycle repeats. There's no downtime.
Right.
There's no taking a year off to like recalibrate. There's no recalibration. It's just a constant flow. And I think that's how we're going to do things moving forward. And I'm all for it.
And you make a good point. You stay on people's radar that way. And I think when full albums are coming out, sometimes, you're putting your blood, sweat, and tears into these 12, 13 songs. People are still going on there, as you said, and they're grabbing the 2 tracks that they like. You know what I mean? So this way, man, if you're putting out a single, man, you know what I mean? They'll just grab that track and put it on their playlist or whatever. And then, all those deeper cuts, a lot of times, man, like they're for naught. I mean, like who's really giving a shit sometimes? It's sad to say, but you make a good point about the attention spans.
Yeah, there's a lot of modern bands that are doing that right now. One that comes to mind, the way that Falling in Reverse did their release. They were releasing Popular Monster years ago, and then they've just been like releasing. So it's like single, video, tour, single, video, tour. And then finally, when the album came out, the Ronald album, it was already like, it had like 6 platinum hits already in it.
Right.
And then another 2 that were on their way to that. And then 2 or 3 songs that had not been released yet. And it's just like, boom, there you go. You got 10 or 11 songs. I don't know. I don't remember how many, but I was watching that whole process and I was like, what a genius move. Yeah. Because it's just, you're constantly churning something out and you've got everybody in the palm of your hand. There's no lulls. There's no gaps.
Right.
You can be like, oh yeah. Oh, a new CKY album. Oh shit. It's been a minute. Like, no. We've been busy this whole time. We've got enough songs. Chad's like Prince, dude. We could release a new CKY song from now until 3025. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
that's a nice luxury to have. It is.
Yes.
So I look back on your career, the Absence, HAVOK, all the stuff that you did, with the CAVALERA, SOULFLY, CAVALERA CONSPIRAcy. Is there any point in time where you feel like, and of course that's excluding all the stuff you're about to do with CKY, but up to this point though, is there an area or a period of time or maybe an album or somewhere where you could point to and say, here's where I really felt like I was at my creative high point?
Yeah. Man, you got some killer questions, man.
I try.
Yeah, you've done your research. I appreciate that. Yeah. So
I do have 2 separate podcasts. So in the last couple of years, I've gotten a lot of practice. I've done 360 episodes of the music one, and then another 300 of my boxing podcast. So yeah,
incredible, man. Yeah, this is awesome.
I better have perfected this by now, or I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
I'm just trying to keep up with you, cuz.
Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. So to answer your question, I believe that would probably be the album that I was at my creative peak. That's an album called Coffinized by The Absence. Okay. And we released, that was a COVID project. That was like, hey guys, we all lived together. This is back when I was living in Tampa. The singer and I lived very close to one another, and then the drummer and the guitar player lived together, maybe 45 minutes away up in Spring Hill. Yeah. And during that lockdown time, it was just like, all right, boys, what are we doing? Let's make the best of this. Yeah. And this was the 5th album in the band's history. So we kind of knew what we were doing already. We had just released a Gift for the Obsessed, the one right here below it, in 2018. So we were kind of like, had some stuff left, some gas left in the tank. And so there was songs being written. And for that album, why I felt so creative about it is because we were making songs. I was spearheading like the artistic direction of like the look of the album. I had written and directed and acted in 2 of our first like live action videos. It wasn't just performance based. We did a song called Coffinized where we shot a video for it, and then we also did like a playthrough like video for a song called Choirs of Sickness, which I believe was the first single that we released. But it was really hands-on for all of us, and everybody kind of came together with their thing. Ty Taylor Taylor Nordberg was writing the music and recording it. Jeremy was also recording the music, and they were like doing that part in their little world. And then in my world, and Jamie's world, the singer, we were kind of, you know, writing the music videos based on the lyrics. We were collaborating on that. I was watching a lot of like films and videos, taking reference of how I kind of visualized taking Jamie's lyrics and actualizing them into like an acting role.
Yeah.
So I'm really proud of that. And then I sought out and found the artist who did all of the artwork for the album, and it was an artist by the name of Chad Worley from Ohio. And I'm a big fan of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which is like my whole entire arm here.
Yeah.
I loved those books growing up. And Chad kind of studied at the same altar of that artist, Stephen Gamel is the name of that guy, who has since passed, I believe. But I was like obsessed with what Chad was doing, and I was like, this is the perfect aesthetic to tie everything together that we're working on. It's super grim, it's creepy, and it worked. So he hand drew that album, and it's a gatefold, so that's truly only half of it. And then he hand drew all of the insert stuff that goes inside.
Amazing.
I also contracted him to do a lot of my own personal stuff, like the Mike Leon shreds stuff. He's my favorite artist to work with. And yeah, so to answer your question, that was my most creative album. I got to put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that one, musically, visually, aesthetically. So yeah, I'm super proud of that one.
And so with the CKY guys now, where are you guys all geographically, you know, in terms of how you will create music? Will a lot of this be done remotely? Obviously, we can do a lot now with technology.
I'm sure there will be a remote aspect to it, but we're old fashioned, you know what I'm saying? Like the guys are a bit older than I am, but I'm still in that same era of get in the room and jam it out, you know? So there'll probably be ideas, and then we'll schedule some time to come down and hash it out. And like, let's see what happens when we play it all together. And then there's that cool live element. Things start to morph a bit, and everybody puts their sauce in the soup, and it's cool. I think that's how you get like the best of everything, because everybody, you know, you could program a drum, but it ain't going to be played like that.
Right.
So
and what is your own individual creative process like? Like if you're going to sit down and write music, and you know, there's kind of two schools of thought here, and I've talked to both types of people. You know, there's guys that kind of get sparks of creativity throughout the day, and they're writing, or they're humming something into their phone, and it's coming in throughout the day. Or there's people that can kind of sit down and, like punching a clock, treat it like a job. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to create some music. What's the process like for you?
I've never done the latter. No. I can't clock in and make music. I don't think music is not for me, at least. Some folks can do that. Good for them. That's a talent in itself. For me, you know, I'll be just, I always have my bass kind of when I'm watching football sometimes. I'll just have my bass nearby, you know, unplugged. You know, I got plenty to choose from. So I'll just grab one, you know, during halftime or whatever, and I'll just start noodling away. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, cool, great idea. So I'll like, thank God we've got these little mini computers in our pockets now. So I'll like probably either, like you said, mouth the riff into the thing or try to record it really quickly. But lately I've just been doing videos. So it's not only you can see what I'm playing, where I'm playing it, and how I'm playing it, but you also hear it as a reference too. So then I'll take that idea, and I have like a folder that I put it all, compile it into. And then I'll open up my DAW, and I'll start being like, okay, I want to do something with this riff. So I'll track it on there, get a nice take, and then like either I'll work with somebody to try to help me write like a cool drum, or maybe I'll do like a on my steering wheel, or like while I'm driving, or just like kind of on my chest like that, and or I'll mouth it into my phone, and then that's kind of how it works. And you know, that's how it begins.
And now I'll ask this question, and then I'll probably do a lot of nodding and act like I know what the fuck you're talking about, but I won't. but for the people that are interested out there, and there is a big demographic of them that are, you know, who might like how Mike Leon taps into his bass sound, man. For the gearheads out there, if you will, man, what is your rig? What is your instrument of choice? Your bass of choice? Your setup like? And again, I'm not a musician, so a lot of this will be Greek to me as well, but it won't be to a lot of people though.
Just smile and nod.
And smile and nod, yeah.
Take my hand as I take you on a tone adventure.
Yeah, please.
Well, starting with the bass, I've been fortunate enough to have designed my own signature model with ESP. That's a company I started playing back in 2007.
Okay.
So I've been with them for what, 18 years now.
Yeah.
And for a couple years, we've had my signature model, which is the MLB4. It is a B series bass that has Nordstrand big split pickups in it. My bass is a little bit different because it's a 36-inch scale length.
Okay.
The normal B series is 35. The reason we did the extra extended scale length is because when I was playing with SOULFLY, I was playing down in B standard and A standard tunings, which require a thicker gauge string to keep a nice tension so that your strings aren't flubbing all around.
Okay.
So we designed it with that in mind, because there's a lot of modern musicians that are down tuning to, you know, A, F, like all these crazy low tunings. But I've never been a fan of a 5-string. I'm a 4-string guy. You know, I grew up listening to Flea and Chili Peppers, and the only exception of that would be Les. But Les is on his own little world over there.
He is. Yeah.
Whatever he's doing, and God bless him for that.
Yeah.
But I've always been a 4-string guy. So to handle those lower tunings, we designed it with a longer scale length so that I could be comfortable with all of the dimensions and articulate shapes of the 4-string, but in a 5-string. It's like a baritone bass.
Okay.
You have a baritone guitar, which is a little longer for lower scale tunings.
Yep.
But yeah, it's like a baritone bass just for like handling lower tuning. CKY plays in C sharp.
Okay.
So that's pretty low too, but it feels great. So that's my bass. And then I've been using the Neural DSP Quad Cortex for my live rig, and it's like an amp modeler. It's a fucking magic box, dude.
Yeah.
You can build any rig, you can capture any pedal, any cabinet, any mic placement, any head from any iteration of decades of instruments and equipment, and you could put it all together however which way you'd like. So I've got a few scenes in there that I use like my MIKE Leon Shreds one for like when I'm jamming my own stuff. There's the killer one that Chad made for CKY, which is pretty similar, but it's just a little beefy and a little bit more up front. It's pretty much similar, but it's just like kind of how the signal chain goes out live. I've got one that goes out to the front of house, and then I've got a model that goes into my power amp head that's just basically set to be clean and into the cab. Lately, I've been using Gallien-Kruger heads or cabs and Seymour Duncan Power Stage 100 for my head, because it keeps a nice, clean, loud, crispy tone. Whatever you put into it, it just amplifies that, and that's all we want. The Gallien-Kruger cabs really just push it. I like to have a little air moving behind me. Even though we are in in-ears, I got my signature MIKE Leon Shreds clear tune monitors for my in-ears. What else do I use? I've got my signature Richter guitar strap, which we were talking about becoming an old guy. Yeah. And back issues. I've got a nice, very wide strap with my logo on it.
Geriatric model. Yeah.
Yeah. To save the back and the shoulders a bit. What else, man? I use Enki cases to carry my equipment around everywhere in the world. I can fit 2 basses, my straps, my in-ears, some picks. My wireless unit, which is a Shure wireless unit. I can fit all of that in my Enki and travel every continent on the planet, no issues.
Amazing.
So that's a big one for me too. And shout out to my homies at Sullen Clothing. They keep me looking fresh and staying warm in all of these crazy climates. So, that's, looking good and feeling good goes into the tone, because everybody knows the tone's in the fingers. You got to have confidence, going on stage.
You're right.
That's all part of it. And those are the companies that keep the dream alive for us.
Yeah. So. I think I nodded and bluffed my way through that pretty good. Yeah.
Dude, it was like you were right there with me.
Yeah, I was right there. Yeah. And so you've gotten to travel the world, do festivals, do all this cool shit. Have you gotten the chance to have an impactful, and certainly not counting the CKY guys, man, but have you got to have one of those impactful, hero meetups where you got to meet someone where the jaw just fucking dropped and you were just like, wow, I can't believe I just got to meet him?
Yeah, it was Les Claypool.
Okay.
I didn't even, this is such an embarrassing story. I probably just blushed live on this podcast here. But it's so embarrassing. We played, I think it was either Sonic Temple or Welcome to Rockville. And I went into like the photo pit area during the day, I think, to watch Mammoth, Wolfgang Van Halen's band.
Yep.
I think it was Rockville. And I'm watching and I'm like, yeah, this is sick. And my wife's in the photo pit taking photos. And I look behind me, or I hear the voice that I recall. And I'm like, I know that voice. I look behind me. It's Larry Lalonde and Les Claypool from Primus.
Yeah.
And like we caught eyes for a second, and I did the hey, nod.
Yeah.
And that was it. That's all I could do. And then I turned back around and was like, oh my God, it's Les Claypool. Like, should I say something? I want to say something. I don't want to shit. And by the time I had gone through that whole thing in my head, they like walked away. And then I was just like, and then my wife came back like 5 minutes later. I was like, Les Claypool was just here. She was like, did you say hi? And I was like,
yeah,
I couldn't do it, you know. And there's been,
he's on your Mount Rushmore, for God's sakes.
I know, bro. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. I was not mentally prepared to see my fucking hero standing behind me.
That's hard.
You know, he's like, oh, look at him go up there. And I heard him. I heard that voice, and I was like,
not a bad Les Claypool either, man. Had the nasally little twang in the voice. That wasn't bad. That was.
Look at those guys up there stomping and plucking away. Look at those kids, man. Making me proud. I love Les. I consume all things Les. I love all bands that he's in, and anytime he does any sort of press or like podcast, you know. Yeah.
Well, he's very much like Flea too. He's one of those guys that really did some innovative shit with the instrument too.
Absolutely.
You know? Yeah.
Between those two, it's like that's me in a nutshell. Like, well, I love Cliff Burton's attitude, and his musicianship. I also could say the same thing. I love the groove. I take the groove and the simplicity from Tim Comerford. He knows exactly what to play and to give everybody enough space to, like, he has his voice and it's loud, but it's not complicated. And then, of course, you got Steve Harris. That's what I take from Steve Harris. I just take his live energy, running from one side of the stage to the other, putting his foot up on the monitor and making the faces. That's what I take. I'm a big face maker thanks to Steve Harris. Yeah. So I take a little piece from every one of them, man.
Yeah. And so so you know, you're in CKY, but I've talked to guys on here, and I'm always amazed by these guys. And I say this all the time. I'll have artists on here that will be in 3, 4, 5 different fucking projects. It's amazing where they find the time, the energy. It's so commendable. Are you one of these guys who likes to have your eggs in a lot of different baskets, or do you like to be in a band and have like a singular focus?
Dude, I'm like a chicken egg farm. I've got so many eggs in so many baskets. Yeah. Like, it's crazy. So I mentioned that company Enki. I also, that's like kind of like my day job gig.
Okay.
I'm the director of artist relations for the global artist relations for the company.
Okay.
So I do that during the day, and that's music related, something that I always loved to do and wanted to do.
Yep.
So I'm basically like helping artists get their cases, doing logistics and making sure they get them on time and what they need. If something, you know, fails on them, I'll send them out a replacement. I'm always onboarding new artists, and it's keeping my pen dipped in ink because I'm learning a bunch of bands I wouldn't have known otherwise.
Yeah.
Because I have to, you know, I do my deep dive on everything, and I vet all these new artists that reach out to me, and I find all kinds of cool music through that. So that's awesome. Then I'm obviously very involved with CKY, more involved, a lot more involved than I've been in my previous bands, except for maybe the Absence.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're working on new merch designs. We're working on booking new tours. I have to slot like certain hours of my day for like, these are the Enki hours. So I'll like wake up and do a little Enki because, you know, I'm on the West Coast and the rest of the world is already at work, and my lazy ass is still sleeping.
Right.
You know, I'm up at 9, like ready to go, and they're at noon having lunch already. Or even worse, in Europe, you know, they're like the end of their day, and I'm
shutting their day down. Yeah,
hey guys, here I am. So I do a little catch up in the morning.
Yeah,
and then I'll like break and be a human for a couple hours, make breakfast with my wife, and, you know, play with the cats, and then I'll shift kind of into CKY, which is like the day-to-day stuff, and I'll talk with management, and we'll kind of figure out what we're doing, like, you know, just day-to-day stuff. Then I'll flip back to Enki, and I'll answer a little bit more emails, and I just try to have everything balanced. Like right now, it's CKY time, so I'm doing some podcasts. I've been doing a lot of press and publicity, and then right before this, I was answering Enki emails, and right after this, I'll go right back to doing that.
Yeah.
So that keeps me busy. And then I also do session work for groups that I am interested in. And I just released an album with a band called Igor from France.
Okay.
We released an album on Metal Blade Records a month and a half or 2 months ago called Amen. And I did 5 tracks on the album. And I think 4 of the 5 are singles, and 3 of them have music videos. So that's been really cool. We just did a collaborative post on Instagram, and it's the biggest post I've ever did. It's like in less than a week, it got 10,000 likes and like 200,000 plus views, and it's climbing like it's brand new. And so that's a cool project. And truly, that band is my favorite band. That's my favorite modern band right now is Igor.
Yeah.
My favorite all-time band is CKY.
Yeah.
Look how many CKY logos you can see like everywhere. You know,
you're living your best life right now.
I am truly. You know, I've got a killer job that lets me, you know, work remote and still be completely like engrossed and ingrained in music in the industry. I'm out here in LA. You know, there's a ton of opportunities, a ton of clients, and a ton of friends out here that, you know, make that really easy. I'm playing in CKY, I'm making music with Igor. I'm literally in both of my favorite bands right now. So I couldn't ask for more. And yes, to answer your question, super busy, lots of eggs, several baskets.
And now what are your listening trends like? You just mentioned that you're vetting bands, you know, and you kind of got to have your ear to the pavement and checking out a lot of music. When you're puttering around the house, listening to music in your car or whatever, do you fall back on the stuff that you're familiar with and is in your comfort zone, or do you explore new music? Are you able to find like brand new bands a lot of times that you're finding that you enjoy?
Yeah, I do. I find a lot of new bands that I dig that I wouldn't have like found on my radar had it not been for them approaching Enki. I also have my go-to stuff that I love, and then I love so many different bands that it seems right now that a lot of bands that I love, there's just so much new music from everybody.
Yeah,
you know, which has been really killer. Like I've been really loving the new Lorna Shore album. We just saw them live with Black Dahlia Murder, and I can't get enough of that. In Flames is one of my favorite bands, and they haven't put out an album in a while, but I've been listening to the last one that they did and all the classic stuff. I just feel like this time of year is for me is like synonymous with like melodic death metal and Swedish music. So I like a lot of that. I listen to a lot of Catatonia. My wife and I both love Catatonia. I just saw Psychroptic the other day.
Oh, I just had Jason on the podcast. Yeah.
Dude, what an incredible band. Like their bassist Todd Stern is one of my fucking favorite people ever.
Yeah. Great band. Yeah.
And I just saw them live and they blew my mind. You know, we saw them with Nea Bliviscarius and Rivers of Nihil.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
The last show of the tour was at the Belasco here a couple days ago in LA.
Don't sleep on that Australian metal scene, for fuck's sake. Don't sleep on it, dude.
Yeah, so much good stuff coming
on down under. Yeah, there really is.
We just saw King Parrot here a couple months ago on the Pantera tour with them on a Mars. So that was cool. And it's like, just something that's kind of cool too, but being here in LA and it kind of ties everything in together. Through Enki, somebody like Zach Wild's one of our ambassadors. So if Zach needs something for Pantera, I can go deliver it. You know, they're playing the Kia Forum. I'll just go deliver it right to them. And then I'll see shows. And I toured back in the day with them on Mars, so I knows those guys. I toured with King Parrot when I was in HAVOK in Australia. And then again in SOULFLY in Europe. So it's like there's just homies everywhere. Yeah. So I'll go to those shows for like a purpose, like a work-related purpose, but then I'm just hanging out with all the people that I love to see. And then I'm hearing music that, like, you know, there's so much music. Like at one point in my life, I was obsessed with Amon Amarth. At one point in my life, I was obsessed with King Parrot and Pantera. So I'll go see those bands, and then I'll be like, oh shit, I totally forgot about like the Twilight of the Thunder God album by Amon Amarth. And then I'll spin that thing for like 2 weeks straight and be like, wow, this is killer. That just happened with Psychroptic. Like now I'm just I'm literally going between Igor's new album, Lorna Shore, Into the Everblack, or I Feel the Everblack Festering Within, or that long ass title. I love it. And then now Psychroptic. I'm just like shuffling those around, you know.
Well, there will be new Psychroptic in 2026. He assured me that on the podcast.
Metal Blade Records, baby.
Absolutely, there will be. And so you know, you're talking about segueing in from metal to playing rock. Maybe the answer to this is never say never. Will we see Mike Leon revisit playing metal again? you know, the kind of metal that people have known you for playing, you know, with the Cavaleras for this last you know, decade plus.
I'm not done shredding.
Yeah,
I still got some banging left in my head.
You got more damage to that neck to do.
Yeah. I still love, like, you know, the fast, crazy, heavy music.
Yeah.
I love all kinds of stuff. Right now, it's really awesome to be doing the CKY thing, but I know that there's going to be something coming up in the future that's going to get me dipped back in my heavy metal roots. And tonight, actually, I don't know when this airs, but as of today, December 11th, Thursday, I'm doing a charity jam with the Metal Injection Camp here in LA, and I'm playing a bunch of like classic heavy metal tracks with a bunch of shredders.
Yeah.
We're gonna be doing I'm playing Blinded by Fear by At the Gates with my buddy Danny DK and Dirk Van Buren on drums. I'm playing Children of the Grave, Sabbath. I'm doing Iron Fist, Motorhead with Roy Mayorga, Phil Demo, and Danny DK again.
Oh man.
Yeah, and then I'm doing March of Pigs, 9 Inch Nails with like Ben Wyman and a couple other sick ass homies. So there's a ton of other people shredding. You know, we got Caesar Soto and the other guitar player from Ministry. We got Chris Broderick's playing, Liam Wilson's playing, you know, a ton of shredders. It's just like it's a really cool event, and it's for charity. All of the tickets sold will go towards Toys for Tots for the holidays.
Nice.
And it's just a good hang, you know, it's like a cool hang with a bunch of homies. It's like an industry party with like a, you know, a really cool purpose. So I'm stoked to be doing that. So if you're in the LA area, I'll see you guys there.
And I believe the only time that I saw you live, though, man, and correct me if I'm wrong now, man, because, you know, I am 52 and the memory isn't what it used to be, but you were participating when Max did the Nail Bomb stuff too, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. We did a couple different.
Because I did go see that, man, when it rolled through Syracuse, New York here, and they did do the Nail Bomb album in its entirety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one was that? Was that with Today Is the Day, or was that with Harm's Way and Cannabis Corpse? There was two different legs of that tour.
Yeah, I don't remember Cannabis Corpse. So
you're up in Syracuse, you said? That was Lost Horizon?
New York, Lost Horizon, yep. Yeah, the ultimate of dive bars in upstate New York, yes.
I love it. I've been there a million times. I always do laundry at the place right across the street.
The Lost Horizon, yep. And, I did the VIP thing, got in the bus, hung out with Max for a minute.
Dude.
Bought Igor's book, signed it. You know what I mean? I think at the time he wrote a horror novel around that time.
Yeah. The orange one, I forget what it was called.
Yes.
I have one too.
Yeah. Yeah. What a great family, though, man. They really are, man. Yeah.
The Partridge family of metal.
Partridge family of metal. Yeah. I've got the chance to have Richie on the podcast, and I use that on him. I'm like, you guys are the Partridge family of metal.
I know, he loves it. Speaking of Richie, I'm seeing him tonight, and we're gonna share the stage again for the first time in a long time. He's gonna be singing on Children of the Grave with me, playing bass. And who else is it? Caesar Soto for Ministry. It's Ben Wyman on guitar, and who's playing drums? A gentleman that I'm not super familiar with.
It's like being in an all-star band.
Yeah. It's like being in several. It's like it's really cool. It's a cool thing. So yeah, I'll be hanging out with Richie later today.
And now, before I let you out of here, if people want to tap into what you've got going on, man, where's the best place to I know everyone's on social media somewhere. We all got to play the fucking game and be on here somewhere.
Yeah. Gotta be busy.
You gotta be. Yeah.
Everywhere. My tag is Mike Leon Shreds. You can find me on everything that there is. I got a YouTube, TikTok, mostly Instagram. I'm most active on. I've got Threads, Facebook, all the necessary evils, but I'm most active on Instagram. You know, my stories and a post here or there. That's where you can find me.
And then the CKY have its own proper website, or is it best to find out about them on those same platforms?
Yeah, CKY Music pretty much anywhere as well. You can find us and what we're up to. I help run that page too. So yeah, anything that we're up to, you can keep up to date either page. Come follow us both. Yeah. We post a bunch of funny stuff all the time.
Yeah. So. He's living the dream, folks. He was a fan and now he's in his favorite band, man. This could be you. This could be you.
Just stay consistent, kids. If you want to do this, stay true to yourself, follow your dreams, stay consistent, don't waver, say yes to opportunities, say yes, and then if you don't know how to do it, learn.
Yeah. That's good advice, man, right there, man. It's a good way to end it, man. And listen, man, please stay in touch, man. Come the new year, man, I'd love to get on here and do it again, man. It's like, especially when we're getting close to the new CKY coming out, or just anything you got going on, man. You're always welcome, man.
Awesome. Yeah, there are some whispers of CKY going up to Syracuse pretty soon. So
I'll be there. I'll be there, man.
2026. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. I will be not, but to the Lost Horizon.
Cannot confirm.
Okay.
You'll see.
Okay.
We're connected. So when it goes live, you'll see it.
Please let me know. Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, I look forward to that, man. And listen, man, I really appreciate you doing this, man. And have a nice holiday, man.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks for having me, dude. And thanks for all the great questions, man.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that, man. That means a lot, man. Thank you, man. Yeah, I try to keep it fresh, try to keep it interesting, try to not make it so cookie cutter. Because, I know when guys do press, man, you only want to hear, who is your influence? What's your favorite album? It gets hard sometimes. And I'm not trying to impugn or knock other podcasters, man, who take that route, man. But you got to keep it a little snappy, man. Before I let you out of here, the last question I didn't get to, man, I feel like you'll have a definitive answer, and I don't want this to go unchecked, man. The Desert Island album. If I drop Mike Leon on a desert island, he can only take one album with him. What's the album?
Infiltrate, Destroy, Rebuild by CKY.
All right. See, I knew he'd have a definitive answer, man. A guy who knows what the fuck he's going to die with on a desert island, man. Yeah.
That's fine. I'll spin it in the grave. Throw it in my coffin, dude. That's a super important album to me. So
I did not want to miss that, man, because you headed me off early on, man, like with the Mount Rushmore of bass players, man. You know what I mean? I usually thought, I usually had that as the next to last before the Desert Island album. And we knocked that off early, man. You know what I mean?
That's so funny.
Yeah,
I don't even know. I haven't even said that. Like, yeah, I mean, I've been doing a lot of press, but I haven't even said that or thought of it. Just
I've always got
I think it's you got good energy, man. So like, yeah, we're just kind of bouncing off each other. I like it.
I try, and I've always got the Mount Rushmore, and I never know where I'm going to go with it. It's always just on my notes, and I never know if I'm going to go Mount Rushmore of artist, Mount Rushmore of the specific instrument that the guest plays. You know what I mean? But I was glad that you said, I'll give you my Mount Rushmore of bassist. That made it easy, man. Okay, so we're going to Mount Rushmore of bass players. Yeah, works. Yeah, I appreciate it though, man. Thank you so much, man, and really enjoy your holidays, man.
Yeah, likewise, dude. Thanks so much again.
My pleasure, man. Yeah, we'll do it again for sure, brother. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Later. See ya.
And there he goes, folks. Mike Leon. That was a fun one, man. Really appreciate him coming on the podcast, man. You might know his work. You should know his work if you call yourself a rock and metal fan. With The Absence, with HAVOK, with SOULFLY, / CAVALERA Conspiracy, / Nail Bomb, / any of the great projects that the Cavalera clan puts their fingerprint on. He's been involved in all of those, and now it has come full circle, and he really is living what most musicians would deem the dream. Ending up in his favorite band, CKY, which is really bringing the whole thing full circle. It's a beautiful thing, man. And you can just tell the exuberance, the joy that he is experiencing, getting this opportunity. I'm sure the Cavalera clan will miss his services. But he had a great tenure there, man, from 2015, I believe, if I have my dates right, to just this year. Just recently left the Cavalera camp, but gave them many years of great service, and and did not rule out returning to metal. So we will see Mike Leon ferociously banging his head and doing more collateral damage to his neck in years to come. I do believe there will be other metal projects, but for now, it sounds like CKY is where his headspace is at, man, and really seems thrilled to be having the opportunity to play with his favorite band. I mean, that's what it's really all about, man. What a great story, man. And what a great guest. What a great conversation. So thank you so much, man, to Mike Leon for coming on here today. And now I'll give you the obligatory promotional spiel one more time. So pay attention, kids. Perk up your ears. And here we go. Make sure to tap into PodScum on Facebook. Our handle, again, is Off the Couch Boxing and PodScum. As I told Mike, I've got 2 separate shows, boxing show, music show, 1 Facebook page, 1 Instagram page. And the handle for both, again, is Off the Couch Boxing and PodScum. And, of course, if you're watching us here right now, make sure to lock in with us. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, And definitely smash that notification bell. You want to be tapped in when new content drops. You'll get updates on new episodes and when they drop and who will be on the episodes and lots of other cool shit. I don't just promote the podcast on Facebook. I drop lots of cool shit, whether it's popping off in the boxing world and in the fight game or the music world. I like to share stuff if it's newsworthy, if it's noteworthy, and I think you guys would be interested in it and would like to be in the loop. I try to share stuff on there. So very informative, very fun. So that's what I do on Facebook. Instagram, you'll get little reels, snippets of these conversations. Great little promotional tool, especially for you people, as me and Mike talked about with the tiny little attention span. So if you just want a little taste of the conversation, that's where to go. But if you want the meat and potatoes, as I always say, this is where you need to be. If you want to feast your eyes and ears on the full conversations, then this is where you need to be. So definitely like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and you will know when new stuff drops. And as you know, dropping it every single week. Sometimes a little, sometimes a lot, whatever I can get out to you guys. As much as I love doing these interviews, I'm like a kid in a candy store. I'm a fan at the end of the day. I love to get the stuff out to you guys, man, so you guys can enjoy it as well. So I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you so much to the viewers. Thank you to the subscribers. And of course, goes without saying, the guests. Everybody's so generous with their time. It blows me away, man, that I get the privilege to do this, man. Specifically today, thank you to Mike Leon of CKY and formerly The Absence, HAVOK, CAVALERA Conspiracy, Nail Bomb, SOULFLY. So many great artists that he's been a part of, man. And again, he gave you all of his credentials. If you want to check him out, keep up the tabs on what he's doing, man, and what his projects will be doing and what CKY will be doing. Get at him on social media. And of course, be a good fan. I always say it. That's my caveat. If you are about these artists and you really are a fan, they're out there grinding. They're out there hustling, touring the world in buses, as you heard Mike say, sleeping in coffin like bunks, in vans even. You got to get out there and be a good fan. Go to the website. Get on a mailing list. Get a newsletter. Buy some merch. Get out and see your favorite bands live. Lift them up. This is how we need to. This is how we need to treat our artists, man. They are out there doing the damn thing for our entertainment, giving us a piece of themselves. So you got to go out there. You got to be a good fan, folks. That's my soapbox. Now I'm going to get off of it, and I'm going to remind you guys to continue to stay tapped in with us. As I said, I appreciate you guys, man. And until we get together and we do this thing again, this is your boy Reckless Rexx reminding you to take it easy and keep it sleazy.